Hey yo! What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video today. And today's video, we are going to be discussing my predictions for the first ever two-night Summerslam pay-per-view of 2025. As the time I'm recording this video, SummerSlam is officially 2 nights away, but by the time you are seeing this video, SummerSlam will be actually tomorrow. The first ever 2-night SummerSlam this weekend, and I'm so excited for all the matches. I think this year's SummerSlam has potential. If everything plays out the way I think it will play out, will be the best pay-per-view easily of 2025, surpassing Evolution. And I'm gonna try to do this video quick because it is 2 nights and there's a lot of matches that I want to go over and what do I think about these matches. But we're just gonna go ahead, get straight into this video, and let's have some fun. So we're gonna start by doing night 1, and then we're gonna go ahead and do night 2. So for night 1, SummerSlam, we're going to preview Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. This matchup is a matchup we haven't seen before. There's really haven't been no story going into this matchup. The story that we all thought, which we will preview in night 2, was Naomi, the Money in the Bank cash-in winner, was going to insert herself into this matchup and make it the rivalry a little bit more interesting. But because of the events that happened at Evolution a couple weeks back, that is not the case anymore. And now it's just a straight up Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. And I have a new champion being crowned in Jade Cargill. I think it's time for Tiffany Stratton to lose the title. She's done okay with the reign, but her as a babyface, to me, is just not working. I don't mind her keeping the Mean Girl, but she was such a good heel with that Mean Girl, and I think what they did wrong was turn her babyface. Now, it's not her fault per se, because the crowd did like Tiffy, and I think they still gonna like Tiffy, but I just think it's time for her to lose that title. I think she has had that title, if I'm not mistaken, for, I want to say, no, it's been less than 200-day reign. Has it been? No, it's been less than that. I don't know why I saw a 200-day reign for a title, but she's had the title for a little while, and I just think it's time for her to lose it. And, well, it could be, well, I don't know. But long story short, I have Jade Cargill winning the WWE Women's Championship, and therefore it's a new era in the SmackDown for the women's, as Jade Cargill will be leading the SmackDown division ladies side with that title. Next matchup I'm going to talk about is Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Now, for a disclaimer, I was not interested in this match, and I'm still not interested in this match to a degree, but I will say this: these four has done a good job to make me a little bit more invested. That when this matchup comes, I'm actually going to be tuning into this matchup. I'm going to be honest. I thought this matchup was going to be a bathroom break for me. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to be truthful. I thought it was just going to be a bathroom break because I think the whole Travis Scott ordeal has rubbed people the wrong way. That every celebrity that comes in now is going to be looking at like from a lens. And with Jelly Roll is actually passionate. The man had lost over 200 pounds, so he's serious and passionate. And because of what happened with the Travis Scott deal, and him not taking the reports that he's not taking his training serious, he's a lazy, and he's an Ario Emanuel client. Every celebrity that comes in here or not is always going to look at that lens, because they're going to always be compared to Travis Scott, which is not fair, but that's the world that we living in. That's why I always tell people And just, when you have a reputation, make sure that you don't damage that reputation for other people. Because the moment you damage it for other people, that becomes a problem. But I would give Jelly Roll this. He has taken everything serious. He cuts a little bit good promos. He said what needs to be said. Maybe the wrestling skill is not up to par, but he shows that he's passionate. He shows he's taking it serious, and that's all you gotta do. You just gotta give respect when respect is due. But I know that I took too long on that, but I have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll winning. Now, I'll be honest. One week I had Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, but the reason I don't have them is because I don't think Randy and Drew are going to... I don't think Randy and Drew are going to be part of the pivot. I think Jelly Roll will pin Logan Paul. I think that's what's going to happen. Therefore, that tag team will win. I'm going to go to another matchup because I think it's going to be two co-main events. We're going to go to the next matchup of Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I don't like the stipulation that they said. If Kross wins, Sami has to say that Kross was right, and then Zayn wins, Kross says I was wrong. What kind of stipulation is this? Almost every other matchup, except for maybe the tag team matches, have stipulation. And this is when the women's title has a one-on-one, but there was no story to make it a stipulation. So at least they have a reason. But this rivalry's been started for a few months now. And you telling me the payoff is not going to be in an I quit match or a no disqualification match? This is the dumbest stipulation they could have done. But I do have Sami winning because Triple H loves his baby faces getting prevailing over the final. You know how Triple H is. He loves his baby faces. Doom. But I will say this for Karrion Kross, this is make or break. He has not signed extension yet. He has told people close with him that he has not signed extension yet. So this is make or break for Karrion Kross. If he puts on a good match, maybe WWE comes to him with an offer, and he resigns it. If he don't, this may be the last time we see Karrion Kross in the WWE ring. And it's unfortunate to say that, but if you're having mediocre matches with Sami Zayn, that's a problem. And Sami Zayn is a good wrestler, so if you're having mediocre matches with him, that's not good. So this is make or break for Karrion Kross, but I do have Sami Zayn winning. So far I have Jay Cargill winning the title from Tiffany. I have the team of Randy Orton and Jelly Roll winning, and then I have Sami Zayn winning. Now let's go to the next matchup, and that's going to be Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Now, if you watch my last video when I did the Evolution prediction, I had Charlotte and Alexa winning. But what I didn't know was they was going to do a fatal four-way 2 nights before Evolution, and Alexa Bliss ended up picking up the win. I did not know that. So it protected Alexa and them because we knew they wasn't going to win. And then when Raquel and Roxanne won, they didn't pin Alexa and them. They pinned Sovuka and them. Raquel pinned Sovuka, but the team of Sovuka and Zarya got the L all the way in NXT. So, two things are going to happen. Judgment Day only wins if one of the two betrays one or the other. And that's Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair. That's the only way I see Judgment Day winning. But I don't see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss losing. I just don't. So I think Alexa and Charlotte Flair will win the WWE tag titles, restore order within that division, and women's tag division. Let me say that women's tag division, and therefore, they will continue this great storyline between them two, because them two have been doing an awesome job so far. Now, let's get to what I think is the two co-main events, but I'm going to say what my actual main event when I say the match. So, the tag team match between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. The Seth Rollins injury changed a lot of things, because I'm going to be honest, I think Roman was going to be slated for SummerSlam, but it was going to be like a 6-man tag with him and Jay and LA Knight versus Seth, Braun, and Bronson. But Seth Rollins' injury changed everything, because if you really think about it, LA Knight's not on the call for SummerSlam. Penta's not on the call for SummerSlam. I don't think Penta was ever going to be on the call for SummerSlam. I think they was going to have that gauntlet, and because Penta came out first and lost, I don't think he was ever going. I think it was going to be a 6-man tag between Roman, LA Knight, and Jay versus Seth, Braun, and Bronson. But Seth's injury changed all that, where it hurt some talent not being on the card. So therefore, we got this matchup, this tag matchup between Roman. Roman's the biggest box office attraction in this generation by far. You had to get him on SummerSlam, right? So it was the right thing to do. I'm gonna be honest, because of the way they've been pushing Braun, per se, I'm gonna be honest, none of these people can eat a pinfall. And it's crazy to say that. None of them can eat a pinfall. That's why I won't be surprised. But that's the thing with SummerSlam. You don't want DQ finishes on your second biggest event. You just don't. So you want every fall to be decisive, pretty much. So, but I'm beyond. None of them can get pinned, because if Braun Breaker gets pinned, that momentum he has had carrying into SummerSlam is damaged. Bronson's already getting overshadowed by Braun, so if he gets pinned, it's just gonna put him down even more. And yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna go Roman Reigns pin Bronson Reed, and then they're going to continue, because if you have Roman Reigns pin Braun Breaker, you don't really help the situation when it comes to them being a one-on-one. And there's been reports that said that they view Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns as a potential WrestleMania matchup, where if WWE views Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker as a potential WrestleMania match, you can't have Roman Reigns pin Braun Breaker. Now, I will say this, if you have Braun Breaker pin Roman Reigns, maybe that's a little bit more interesting, and maybe you can build on to that, and Roman can come back and say, you know what, you pinned me in a tag match, but you really can't do it one-on-one without your boys. I'm just fantasy booking at this point. But I'm be honest, I have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso winning, but I will be surprised. That Monday Night Raw, that promo, that says a lot, but I think they're trying to build towards Jey turning heel, because Jey has talked about turning heel eventually. So, I don't know. This match is hard because none of them can really get pinned. But if you just want to be on the safe side, I would have Roman Reigns pin Bronson Reed. I just would. Or if you do Jey Uso can pin Bronson Reed. But at no point Braun Breaker should get pinned. No point. And if he does, his credibility is destroyed. So I think Roman and Jey wins, but it's going to be involving a Bronson Reed pinfall. And now we're going to get to the main event. CM Punk challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to be honest. This is a tricky matchup, because, you know what, forget it. I got CM Punk winning. I think it's time. I think Seth's injury kind of momentum the plan, or I wouldn't say momentum, but it kind of forced WWE to change their plans. And because we don't know how long Seth is out for, it will be a crazy story if CM Punk wins, because what does Seth have to gain from cashing in on Gunther? The guy that he really hates is CM Punk. So just imagine if CM Punk wins and then Seth comes back and cashes in on CM Punk at any point. So, and now you can continue the story with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and this everlasting rivalry that's been going on for 10 plus years now. So, yeah, I got CM Punk winning. I think Gunther was always going to be a transitional champion, and it sucks for him because they took the title off of Jey for Gunther, because that's who Goldberg wanted to face, or that's, they've been teasing that matchup since the Bad Blood pay-per-view last year. It sucks that it had to be for a title. I don't think it had to be for a title, but I know, it is what it is, and I just think CM Punk will win that matchup against Gunther. No, yeah. Yeah, CM Punk will win against Gunther and become World Heavyweight Champion. But that's night one so far. Let's go in the list. I got Jay Cargill. I got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll winning. I have Punk winning the Heavyweight Championship. I have new women's tag titles in Flair and Alexa Bliss. I have Roman and Jey Uso winning the tag team match. And then I have Sammy winning. That's my night one. Let's get into night two. So I think night two will be the better night, honestly, because they have some banger matches that I feel like every match can low-key cook. I think night two is going to be the best night, honestly. When you look at these matches, Lord have mercy. And the story that it's been telling, Lord have mercy. I think the only story that really hasn't been good is the main event for night two, but it still has been a decent enough story to where they can have a good matchup, considering what the stipulation is. But I'm already 15 minutes and I haven't even talked about night two. So let's get this going. First matchup that I want to say is going to be Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. This rivalry has been funny and hilarious. AJ praying that Dom gets healthy and Dom gets healthy and Dominic praying that he don't have to face AJ and they try to do this matchup at Night of Champions. If y'all don't remember, they tried to do this night at Night of Champion, but Dom got hurt, and probably in a little bit of real life too, but they added that he got hurt and he couldn't compete. And I feel like that was a good, smart move by WWE because there was no story here into Night of Champion. There was no chemistry here into Night of Champions, including the two competitors interacting, during the rivalry process, of course. And I think WWE did a good job of just holding off the match until they can put it on a bigger pay-per-view, because these two can automatically wrestle for at least 20 minutes, and they told a good enough story to where we are interested by this matchup. And I'm super glad they did not do this at Night of Champions. Now, I had AJ Styles win the Intercontinental Championship because I feel like WWE is going to put the AAA Championship on Dominic in a couple weeks, August 16th. But I'm going to be honest, I think the idea of Dom 2 times may be a little bit more interesting than him just holding the AAA Championship. So I have Dominic Mysterio, and plus because AJ pinned Dominic on Raw this past Monday, I have Dominic beating AJ to retain the title. I'm sorry, AJ. I wish I would have had you. Now, I wouldn't be mad if you won, but I just feel like Dominic might win, and then he's going to go to AAA and take that championship in that fatal four-way between El Grande Americano, Dragon Lee, and the champion El Hijo Vikingo. I'm sorry I butchered your name, but I know your name, but I just butchered it, so that's my fault. But I have Dominic retain IC title. Then the next matchup I have is going to be Becky Lynch and Liv Valkyria. Now I'll be honest with you, this is a tricky matchup because for me, Lyra has done some of her best. Now that promo on Monday night where she's talking about the little Becky Stompers, that was so bad. That was just bad. I'm not gonna lie. And she did such great work until that promo. But because that's the last promo we gonna ever think of her, unfortunately, her momentum died down a little bit. But I still think it's gonna be a banger matchup. It's no DQ, it's no count out, and the rules are simple. Becky wins, Lyra don't get to challenge her no more. As long as she's champion, Lyra wins. She just wins. She just wins the IC title. So either she wins IC title or she no longer challenges Becky Lynch as long as she's champion. And I'm gonna be honest, I have enjoyed this Becky reign so far. Although they've been putting her with the same people, I have enjoyed this reign so far, and I feel like they need to. I feel like it's this match is hard. I'll be honest. I don't care which woman wins, but because this is a prediction video, I'm going to say Becky retains the title due to a Bayley turning heel. Because I feel like you can do more with Becky in the IC title before she heads to the main event scene again. Because you gotta think about it. Naomi's champion. She's a heel. You want to at least keep that momentum rolling with Naomi until at least Clash in Paris. Stephanie, like here, is already going to be championship. Now, that may be a reason she lose, because if Stephanie wins that Clash, she maybe Becky becomes next, and maybe Becky takes a couple weeks off because, her schedule, and, she got a kid that's getting older now, so maybe want to spend more time. Although Seth's injured, but yeah, I don't know. This matchup is hard. I'm going to just say Becky's going to win, but not 100% sure. I'm going to say like a 5% sure that Becky wins. And I'm going to say 5% sure. Like, this is not 100% guaranteed. Like, oh yeah, I got this person winning. But I'm going to just say Becky wins. But if Lyra wins, I admit I'll be wrong. I just think the addition of Bayley is going to be so integral in terms of like her turn on Lyra. Because she feels like Lyra has always been that stepping stone, that Lyra's been betraying her. And because Bayley needs a new character, I just feel like, yeah, I got Becky winning. We're going to move on because this is going to get harder and harder. And I'm already 21 minutes. Next matchup. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match. This is going to be simple and short. They haven't put side place on Solo Sikoa's United States Championship. So what that means to me is that Solo was always going to be a transitional champion and Jacob is going to win. And I still had Jacob winning anyway, but this is my problem. They should have had Jacob kept it until SummerSlam and then made Solo beat him and brought in Tyler Tunga. But they brought in Tyler Tunga. I like Tyler Tunga. Hikuleo, formerly known as Hikuleo. I like him. But yeah, they didn't do so right by this ring. They just did it. So I have Jacob Fatu winning, maybe due to a little bit of help. I don't know if it's going to be from Jimmy or a new member. I'm going to be honest, it might be Tama Tonga returning. I'm calling it out. Tama Tonga returning, and he's attacking Jacob Fatu. And he's going to be the reasons like, Bo, I thought I was your MFT. Because remember, Tama Tonga was originally called the MFT, if people forgot. And then when Solo, re-announced the MFT and said, my family tree, and that's all. And a lot of people was wondering, where's Tama Tonga in all of this? So I think Tama Tonga is going to betray Solo Sikoa, help Jacob win, and Jacob will be United States Championship again. That's just me. Now, let's get to the next matchup. Naomi, the champion, versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Champion. So you got WWE Women's Champion that did night one, and now the Women's World Champion. This matchup is going to be a banger. And the reason it's going to be a banger is because you already have two good wrestlers that had match of the year easily, I wouldn't say easily, but you can say match of the year contender in Rhea Ripley and Io Sky just a couple weeks back at a few weeks back at Evolution before Naomi, and that's why I said I thought Naomi was going to cash in on the I thought Naomi was going to cash in on the WWE Women's Championship, and they was going to win. But instead, she cashed in on Io Sky and won. So now I knew they was going to run this triple threat matchup because it didn't really have no proper ending except Naomi winning. But let's see what three women can do in the ring when everybody's at their best. I think Naomi wins. I think she goes to Clash and face Stephanie, and Stephanie takes the title off of her. It's going to be suck, but it is what it is. But I do have Naomi winning, but this is going to be a banger of a matchup for sure. And I think they're teasing Rhea turning heel. I'm just being dead serious. They're really teasing it, or at least a new character change, because her not being Io is going to come back and she's going to get pissed and she's going to attack Io. They're going to continue that ride with Rhea and Io. Trust me, believe me. But this time it's going to be a heel Rhea Ripley and a heel Rhea Ripley and a face Io Sky. Excuse me. I've been butchering my words all morning long, so forgive me for for butchering. It's going to be a heel Rhea Ripley and a face Io Sky, and their rivalry is going to continue. Now, we're going to get to what I think is going to be the match of night 2. The 6-pack TLC match at SummerSlam, the very place that TLC was invented, and now we're bringing it back, but with 6 teams. The Wyatt 6 versus Andrade and Rey Fenix versus DIY versus Fraxium versus Motor City Machine Guns and versus the Street Profits. Man, the SmackDown Tag Division has been built so well that you don't care who wins because you know the SmackDown Tag Team is going to be in good place. What happened? I didn't say what happens afterwards, but honestly, you just keep it going. I wish Raw did the same thing, but they haven't so far. But Lord have mercy, they have done a good job with this division, and I'm gonna be honest. Because I'm be honest, I have the Wyatt 6 retaining. And the reason I have them retaining is because you don't want them to become a transitional champion. You already gave them that momentum heading into them winning. And because their first reign, everybody thought it was fluid because so much DQ. You want to at least legitimize their reign. I had Motor City Machine Guns winning, but I think the Y6 win because it legitimized their tag team reign by beating 5 other tag teams, and boom. You know, they keep going that division, keep dominating the tag team division, and then you either build up the team, one of these teams, to finally beat them, or you bring in a new tag team. They need to do a draft because some of these tag teams need to go over to Raw. I'm just going to be honest. Some of these tag teams need to go over to Raw. But I do have the Y6 retaining the titles. Alright, now let's get to the main event. We're almost at 30 minutes, so I do apologize for my video being long. But because it's 2-night SummerSlam, we had to go over each match and, you know, everything that's been going up, leading up to the match. Now to the main event. And the match, let's just talk about it. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. I'm going to be blatant. I love Cody Rhodes. I love John Cena. Their match at WrestleMania 41 was the worst match of this year. By far. And I'm just going to be blatantly honest. Them two act like they didn't have no chemistry, no nothing. So this had to have a stipulation for this SummerSlam. This had to. Just by them having a stipulation, it's going to get better. And the question does become, could it get worse? That WrestleMania 41 matchup was so horrible. I didn't even watch it. The only time I watched it was interests, and that was John's interest. I didn't even watch Cody interests. So, in addition to Travis Scott, and now what happened with the Travis Scott situation, even makes it 10 times worse. So, they've been showing a different side of Cody. Maybe a double turn does happen. Maybe it doesn't. And John Cena has hit 100 days as WWE Champion. But because Cody's going to film this movie soon, I had Cody winning before the movie soon. For some odd reason, I think John Cena wins. But I think John Cena wins due to help. And from an unlikely source, too. Ladies and gentlemen, I am saying it right now. Randy Orton will punt kick Cody Rhodes, causing him the WWE Champion. Yes, you heard me right. Randy Orton will punt kick Cody Rhodes, causing him the WWE Champion. And because Cody Rhodes is going to be gone until at least all of August, you write Cody off. Now, if Cody wins the championship, don't know how you would do it because he's gone all of August. And because Clash of Paris is the last day in August, August 31st, that doesn't help nobody. So, Randy Orton would punt kick Cody, feeling like Cody cheated his way to get to a WWE Championship, and you renew the rivalry between Cody and Randy, and because you have built up an aggressive Cody Rhodes, now when he comes back and face Randy, this rivalry will get personal, it will get deep, and it will daggone sure get aggressive. And honestly, if they're smart about it, they could they could do this rivalry until WrestleMania. If you're smart, you could do it and have this be a WrestleMania match. You could. They're not going to do that because they've been teasing Cody versus Roman for a while now due to the OTC one. And that's the thing. Is either Randy coming out and costing Cody, or Randy comes out and costs Cody, but then The Rock comes in and Cody turns heel. Because that's the thing. I don't think Randy needs to be a heel anymore. I just don't. I think Randy's at that stage, and I know I'm over 30 minutes, so I'm just going to try to keep this short. Randy as a heel was great, but he's in his latter stage. Randy's